clothes, put your jacket in the plastic bag. Seal it tight. If the stool flips open, store your clothes inside. Wearing light colors, grab an apron. It's the best defense against oil splatter and smoke. Step 2. Bottomless side dishes. Basic side dishes at a barbecue restaurant. Eat, and eat as much as you want. Side dishes come with free refills. Oh, and if you don't see this sign, just ask, 사장님, 여기 밑반찬 좀 더 주세요. Simple, isn't it? Step 3. Grilling meat. There are various kinds of samgyeopsal in Korea. Place the meat on the grill. Turn it over when golden. And again when it looks done. Again and again and again. Step 4. Sam style. You aren't taking bites of sam like a taco, are you? In Korea, we have it in one bite. A pro tip here. Add only as much as you can handle in a bite. Gotta avoid awkward situations. Step 5. Enjoy the perks. After the meal, enjoy the perks offered as a Korean restaurant. Fabric refreshers get rid of the barbecue smell, while mint candies freshen your breath. Did you survive the barbecue restaurant? Hang on. Are you here with someone you want to impress? Then let's skip the garlic. Who knows what will happen?
held its first debate over the weekend.
The economy is expected to expand 2.5% this year.
Team Korea's ties with its global partners on the sidelines of the Status UN summit.
A massive drone attack on Ukraine overnight on Monday and Tuesday.
Arirang.
여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon So-wa, and this is K-Culture Dive. Join us in taking a deep dive into the heart of Korean culture, from K-entertainment to AI news to called K-culture and photos, that is. And our Hallyu People guest today is a documentary film director. So stay tuned for all of that, and let's dive in. Joining me for today's show is Bella Kim. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa. And hello to everyone joining us today on K-Culture Dive. I'm Bella Kim here to co-host and fill you guys all in with some exciting K-entertainment stories.
Bella, so let's start with K-Inter News, and let's begin with a Korean film that's been doing still great at the domestic box office despite back-to-back releases of Hollywood blockbusters, right? So we're talking about Hope.
Yes, we are. Director Na Hong-jin's blockbuster film Hope is gearing up for a massive global rollout after surpassing 4.23 million viewers in Korean theaters. The film, which set a record for the highest overseas pre-sales of a Korean movie has been sold to distributors across more than 200 countries and regions. Distribution in North America and other English-speaking markets will be handled by Neon, the company behind the international success of the Korean film Parasite. Major global distributors, including Movie, Focus Features, and Sony Pictures Worldwide Acquisitions, are also partnering to bring the film to audiences around the globe. Hope will first open in Taiwan on September 4th, followed by North America on September 9th. It will then roll out across Canada, Australia, the UK, Singapore, Japan, and many other countries, marking one of the largest international releases ever for a Korean film. Soa and I, we both watched it and we liked this, so we do hope viewers around the globe will enjoy it too.
I hope so too. And Bella, let's now hop to the world of K-pop, or let's go next door to Boy Next Door, because we're going to talk about a very special milestone.
Right. Boy Next Door has surpassed 1 billion cumulative streams on the global music platform Spotify. As of August 3rd, the group's songs had accumulated more than 1 billion streams. The achievement includes songs from 5 mini albums and 1 full-length album, highlighting the group's steady global growth in just 3 years since their debut in 2023. Boy Next Door are set to release their second Japanese digital single, Boom Boom Boom, on August 18th, followed by the repackaged version of their first full-length album here in Korea on September 28th.
And let's end with another K-pop group that's doing great with another of their latest releases.
Right. It's Kiss of Life. They are enjoying strong success with their latest single, Sweat. The song, just released on Tuesday, quickly climbed major Korean music charts, reaching number 9 on Melon's Hot 100 30 Days chart, while also ranking very high on Bugs and Genie chart as well. The song is not only doing great in Korea, but it's also gaining momentum overseas. The music video for Sweat reached number 7 on YouTube's trending music chart, while the song entered the iTunes Top Songs chart in several countries, including number 2 in Thailand and also number 17 in Taiwan. The same album's B-side track, What, has also entered Melon's Hot 100 and international iTunes charts. The success of the latest release highlights Kiss of Life's growing reputation as one of the standout K-pop acts.
I feel like Sweat is the perfect song to listen to this summer here in Korea with these hot temperatures.
I know.
But thank you very much, Bella, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
All right, time now to go over to our AI anchor Arirang for more on the culture front. Arirang.
Thanks, Swa. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has unveiled a new strategy to transform South Korea into an irreplaceable cultural powerhouse. During its second-half policy briefing at the presidential office on Wednesday, the ministry outlined 6 key initiatives focused on strengthening the K-culture industry and expanding its global footprint. The plan calls for greater support for artists and creators, increased assistance for overseas expansion in key content sectors such as broadcasting, film, and gaming. In the tourism sector, the ministry will prepare for an era of 40 million annual inbound tourists by expanding tourism infrastructure, including airports, ports, and accommodation. Admission fees for South Korea's major royal palaces and the Joseon royal tombs will increase starting next year. The Korea Heritage Service announced during its second-half policy briefing on Wednesday that it will announce admission fee hike details in November, with the revised prices expected to take effect from January 1st next year. Currently, adult admission is 3,000 won, or around $2 for Gyeongbokgung and Changdeokgung palaces, and 1,000 won, or 70 cents, for Changgyeonggung and Deoksugung. The adjustment comes amid growing calls to raise admission fees, which have long been considered too low compared with major cultural heritage sites overseas. The ceremonial changing of the royal guards at Seoul's Gwanghwamun Gate has been suspended as Seoul grapples with extreme heat. With Seoul under its first ever severe heatwave warning, the highest level heatwave alert, outdoor cultural events across the capital have been cancelled, including the Royal Guard changing ceremony. The Korea Heritage Service said the suspension is intended to protect performers and visitors from heat-related illnesses. The program will resume once the severe heatwave warning is lifted. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
Through a single photo at a time, we take a closer look at culture in Korea. This is K-Culture in Photos. Today's keyword is 냉수. It simply means cold water. As Korea reaches the peak of another scorching summer, there's one thing people crave more than anything else, a refreshing glass of 냉수. Across the country, daytime temperatures have been soaring and even the air seems to shimmer with heat. On days like these, there's nothing more inviting than a glass filled with ice-cold water. Just looking at those clinking ice cubes and tiny drops of condensation is enough to make you feel a little cooler. But 냉수 isn't just for one kind of person. Farmers working under the blazing sun, baseball players taking a quick break between innings, construction workers on busy building sites, and even elephants at the zoo all stop for the same reason. No matter who you are or where you are, a cold drink of 냉수 offers a simple but welcome moment of relief during Korea's hottest days. With temperatures climbing to a record-breaking 42.5 degrees Celsius, the city of Yangsan is pulling out all the stops to help people stay safe. Water trucks are spraying roads across the city. It's not just to wet the pavement, it helps cool the road surface, lower the surrounding air temperature, and reduce dust near construction sites. Another creative idea is a moving oasis. Refrigerated trucks travel around the city during the hottest hours of the day, handing out ice-cold bottled water at markets, parks, bus stops, and train stations, especially for seniors and other vulnerable residents. And when the heat becomes overwhelming, fountains turn into popular gathering spots. Families and children cool up in the water, enjoying a refreshing escape from the scorching summer sun. As extreme heat becomes more common, cities across Korea are coming up with practical and creative ways to help people stay safe and stay cool. Shelves full of kimchi in the refrigerated aisle. Nothing unusual, right? That's exactly what you'd expect in Korea, except this isn't Korea. It's an American supermarket. As kimchi continues to grow in popularity, it's becoming a familiar sight in grocery stores across the U.S. and a regular guest at American dinner tables. Kimchi lovers now have more choices than ever. Shoppers can pick from a wide variety of kimchi or use kimchi seasoning to add a bold Korean flavor to everything from barbecues to grilled dishes. Hallyu stores have also helped spark interest. Gwyneth Paltrow has shared kimchi as part of her wellness-focused meals. Margot Robbie includes fermented foods like kimchi in her diet. And Scarlett Johansson has talked about trying several kinds of kimchi during her visit to Korea. Across America, hands-on kimchi-making events are drawing curious newcomers eager to learn the tradition for themselves. With exports to the U.S. continuing to grow, kimchi is becoming more than just a Korean side dish. It's becoming part of America's food culture. A crowd gathers on a warm summer night. There's a Hangang River in the background and overhead a bridge. But where are they and what are they all looking at? Wait, is that a giant movie screen? It is. Every Saturday night this August, spaces beneath several Hangang River bridges transform into free outdoor movie theaters. People bring camping chairs, picnic mats, and snacks, then settle in and get comfortable. Once the movie begins, all eyes are on the screen. From family-friendly animations to Hollywood blockbusters and beloved Korean hits, it's the perfect chance to catch a movie you may have missed. Even better, every film includes English subtitles, making this a summer night experience that everyone can enjoy.
Every picture captures a different moment, but together they tell the story of a Korean summer and the many ways people stay cool through its hottest days.
In 1903, 102 Koreans set sail for Hawaii in search of a new life. More than 120 years later, one documentary filmmaker has dedicated herself to preserving their stories and bringing the forgotten history of Korean immigration to a wider audience. Through her documentaries, Words of Wisdom from the Rainbow State and Songs of Love from Hawaii, award-winning director Lee Jin-young has captured the lives, struggles, and legacy of Korean immigrants in Hawaii with warmth and compassion. Now, we're delighted to welcome her to the studio today. Hello, Director Lee.
Hello, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
We are very happy to have you on the show. So, Director Lee, you are a journalist turned film director. So could we first hear a little bit about your career and what made you pursue documentary filmmaking?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I grew up right here in Seoul, and it's 5 minutes from this very studio.
Oh.
I moved to Hawaii when I was maybe like 23, 24. First, I was fascinated by its landscape. I had no idea what kind of history that we have in Hawaii. But you know, working as a journalist and a news anchor for more than a decade in Hawaii, I had an opportunity to meet wonderful Korean descendants of Hawaii who live in Hawaii. And it got me to think, what's their beginning of their journey? And I realized that their grandparents and parents were among the first Koreans who came to Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is the first place that Korea has started its official immigration. And their stories were just very moving. And it wasn't just a family story. And I felt like it was a part of our history. And I decided to pick up a camera to record their story and share with others.
So as you just mentioned, Hawaii marks the beginning of Korean immigration to the United States, but yet so few people know about this history.
Right.
So why and when did you think that, okay, I have to document this and we have to preserve this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I had no idea when I moved to Hawaii that we have such beautiful history of our own in Hawaii. Like what was very surprising to me is that not only they worked in the plantation field for so many hours, very hardworking people, but what they did after hours was they raised their own, funds to support Korea's independence movement outside of, Hawaii. I mean, they were very poor. It was very hard to even make a living on their own in Hawaii, but still they supported Korea's independence movement. And as an immigrant myself, I was struggling with the question of identity and belonging, living in Hawaii. And their story gave me a courage, and their story gave me a hope. And I was thinking that if it inspired me, for sure this story can inspire others. And that's why I decided to create films about their story.
So now let's talk about your first documentary, Words of Wisdom from the Rainbow States. Now it tells the 120-year history of Korean immigrants to Hawaii through the eyes of the descendants. Usually when most people say Hawaii, they say, think of paradise or heaven on earth, like you've mentioned in your prologue video as well, and myself as well. But what inspired you to make the film, and what message did you most hope to convey from the documentary?
Yeah, so I probably interviewed more than 85 people who are the descendants of these early Korean immigrants in Hawaii, who came to Hawaii between 1903 and 1945. And I asked them same question, what's the biggest lesson, greatest lesson that you got from your parents or grandparents that you want to pass on to the next generation? Because again, it was just amazing how they started their own life in Hawaii. And made such a beautiful history of their own as a Korean. And surprisingly, even though these descendants are from different generations, different backgrounds, their answers all came to one answer. That was, you have to live for others too, not just for yourself. You have to live for others, and you have to share with your neighbors what you have. And I thought that was very beautiful. And now we live in a society that's, divided between generations, nations, and all that. But their story, the community-minded and always thinking of way to help each other was, I think, very powerful, and that's the story that we needed.
And those words from years ago are definitely, living with others is important still till this day.
Exactly, yeah, especially with the, AI and all that, we have to think of a way to, how we can live together,
right?
Basically, so hopefully, that became the core message of Words of Wisdom and also my other films as well.
And that's why your documentaries are resonating with a wide audience. And your works have been globally acclaimed. You are an award-winning film director. But what I personally found especially interesting is that your documentary has been permanently preserved at the National Archives in Korea. So what does that mean to you?
Oh, it was, when that thing happened, I cried. I literally cried because if you think about it, those Korean immigrants who came to Hawaii, even though they supported Korea like thousands of miles away while working in the plantation, most of them couldn't make it to Hawaii. They couldn't afford to visit their homeland again during their lifetime. And to be recognized after 120 years, their sacrifice and their contribution, that was, it was a privilege for me to witness that. Right. It was very emotional.
Oh, right. I can imagine, especially having that historical significance recognized in this way by Korea must have been very meaningful for you.
Yeah, I was very grateful.
Oh. Yeah. And your second documentary, Songs of Love from Hawaii, it was actually recently screened at the U.S. Library of Congress and received significant attention. So we want to ask you, how was the viewers from America or American audiences respond to the film?
Yeah, Songs of Love from Hawaii was very different from my first work. Words of Wisdom is based on the interviews. It's an oral history. But I played the cello for a long time, and as a I called myself failed cellist. I couldn't become a concert cellist, but I got to believe the power of music. And to share this beautiful story that we have in Hawaii, I borrowed the power of music because it's a universal language. I think the reason why we had successful turnout from the Library of Congress screening is because really the music can touch people's heart. No matter where you're from. And a lot of audiences came up to me and said, the film made me think of my grandmother, and I had to call my mom to say, I love you and all that. That was, was something that I can never forget for sure. It was a very beautiful moment.
Now, the more we hear, Director Lee, probably our global viewers would like to know how they can watch your documentary.
Oh, yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, Songs of Love from Hawaii is available on most streaming platforms in Korea, and also in the United States, you can watch it from Amazon Prime Video. And also other countries through Vimeo On Demand. And Words of Wisdom is available for free on YouTube.
Oh. Okay. And now let's move on to what you're currently working on. We hear that you are working on a new documentary.
Yeah.
And this also explores the stories of both Korean and Japanese immigrants in Hawaii. So what message do you want to share through this new project?
Yeah, it's called Beyond the Rainbow. Like you mentioned, people think of paradise or rainbow when they hear the word Hawaii. But living in Hawaii for 20 years and making this film about our history and their history, I realized that Hawaii is very special and beautiful because not only its beautiful landscape, but also the spirit that people have. Hawaii is very unique in the sense that a lot of people came from different backgrounds, different culture from early age because of the plantation history. They had to work together in the limited limited resources, and how they helped each other to have Hawaii now we have. Like they had to respect each other and they had to share the love. And I wanted to showcase that in the film. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what aloha means?
Hello.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was actually going to greet you that way today. I'm happy that you mentioned it now.
Yeah, exactly. Hawaii, that is true. Hawaii is a Hawaiian greetings. People think of that, you know, when you hear the word aloha. But in dictionary, literally, it means unconditional love in Hawaiian. It means treating each other with respect and with love, no matter where you're from, no matter how much you have. And that is really in the history too when you see these people's story. So we follow two different families, one Japanese, one Korean families that started from same plantation farm. And they lead very different lives through time. And through that story, I would like to showcase, you know, how we could live together well.
I'm looking forward to that as well. And you've been creating documentaries and you are still creating documentary, but documentaries are not necessarily known as box office hits. But what motivates you to continue documenting these, you know, challenging or often overlooked histories? Yeah, you're right. A lot of people think that documentary cannot make lots of money, which is true, I think. But I believe that you know, success, the word success means differently. It means different from, you know, everybody. Like, but for me, I think my life is already successful because I found the story that's really meaningful to me, the story that makes my life meaningful. So in that sense, I feel already successful. But as a filmmaker, I would like to share what I have learned through the journey of making songs of love and words of wisdom. Even though, you know, the box office receipt wasn't, you know, super fancy or anything, whenever we have a screening, there's one person who comes up to me and say, you know, through the film, I got to understand my history. I got to understand my mother's story, my grandmother's story, who I could never talk to each other because of the language barrier or what. It's a privilege. That's much more than, you know, I can imagine if I made a whole lot of money through, you know, other sorts of filmmaking. So, you know, as long as I see these reactions from a person, from a family, that my film helped them understand their roots, I will continue my journey as a filmmaker.
And speaking of continuing your journey, is there maybe some other chapter of history that you would like to convey through your films in the future?
Yeah, like there are 700, like so many people in this world who has Korean heritage now. That was started back in Hawaii in 1903, but now like Koreans are everywhere and they had their own history. And I'd like to explore stories in Japan, stories in China, and stories in Russia. And one day, perhaps, maybe we will see songs of love from Russia, songs of love from Japan and all that. And one message I always see from different stories is that love, you know, Koreans, wherever they are, we always had, you know, this deep love for their children and their homeland too. And, you know, hopefully I can continue my journey as a filmmaker to showcase that beautiful part of our history.
All right. Thank you very much, Director Lee, for sharing your story. It was such an inspiration, and also especially for sharing the story of the Korean immigrants to the world. And yes, we're also looking forward to your future works. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to have you back here soon.
Yes, I'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching, and for your interest in everything K-culture, please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.